right, people are joining.
Welcome, you guys. Sorry we're a little bit late. I know it was supposed to start at 2. We were having all kind of difficulties. Me, anyway, not them. They were here waiting on me. Sorry, you guys. But welcome to Fall Fashion, Dating, and Oh No Feet. So we're going to be doing a live broadcast here. So just share the broadcast, invite your friends, let people know that you're watching. My name is Janyelle Milton from Cashmere Feet, and I'll let them go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, I am Angela T. Jones, CEO of Superwoman Productions and Publishing. And some of you may know me if you are on Facebook or Twitter, or if you read blogs by Six Brown Chicks. I'm one of the correspondent bloggers there. And we are going to have a great discussion this evening, depending on where you are in the world, about fall fashion, dating, and Oh No Feet. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned in and share this link with others.
What's up, everybody? My name is Charles Whitby. I am the owner of the Dapper Gentleman Men's Custom Clothier. There's a lot to it. I also am the managing director for Eastgate Enterprises, which the Dapper Gentleman is one of the business entities underneath. I am so excited to be with these lovely ladies today. This is our first time meeting, so This is great. We've had a couple of phone conversations in preparation, so this is going to be fun and exciting. So get hyped. Tell your friends. Follow at the Dapper G, at Best Superwoman, at Cashmere Feet. Follow everybody. Show the love. Spread the love.
Thank you. All right, so just to start off with, I was telling Charles and Angela the last time we were talking that I was listening to The Breakfast Club. You guys are familiar with The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne, Angela Yee, and DJ Envy. Yep. Yeah, so they had Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father, on there. For all of you out there who don't know who he is, he used to manage Beyonce's career, but now he is not. She has a different manager, but he does put on classes about how to get into the music industry and things of that nature. So Charlamagne asked him a really good question, which was, how do you make it into the music industry? And Matthew Knowles answered, but he answered with a step farther by saying, with any industry that you want to make it in, one of the most important things were image, especially for women. You have to look good, even though I don't agree entirely with that. I do believe talent has something to do with it. But he pointed out something that was very, for men, that was very important. He said, with women, you have to look good. With men, not so much. It's more so about your style. So, since we have Mr. Charles Whitby, clothier for Dr. Gentleman, my question to you is, how do you define style? What's style to you?
I mean, style is really about, obviously it's what you wear, but it's how you wear it. You know what I mean? You got guys, I had a business partner in Miami. The pocket square that I'm wearing is created.
I love the purple.
Love it. I wore purple because I know I was going to be in the presence of ladies, and most ladies. So that's just a tip, guys. Wear purple on dates.
Wear what ladies like.
That's right. Don't wear what your boys say. Right. I want to have a whole conversation about that too, because I think we'll get into that. But from a style perspective, style is what you wear, how you wear it, how you coordinate, what you wear, when, why you wear it, when you wear it. Okay. So it's really about kind of being present. Like I was telling them last night, I went to a wedding. And obviously I had my custom suit on, and a tie, and the pocket square, and the tail accessory. So I was doing my thing, looking, sharp. But dapper. I was looking dapper. Hashtag got dapper. I was looking dapper, and then from there I was at the reception and found out about Midnight Madness, and I had brought some Spartan sweat gear, and so I'm like, I got a style in my Spartan gear. So I had threw on my hoodie. The only time you'll ever find me in a hoodie, again, is if I'm wearing a Spartan hoodie. Okay. Or Moneyball, represent Moneyball. But anyway, so I style according to the venue. I'm going to a basketball event that was really like a fan. It's like almost like a pep rally for the college, right? So I wanted to be in that presence. So I put on my hoodie. But when you're in the presence of a woman, that you're interested in, or you're in the presence of a business situation, you want to make sure that you dress accordingly. And there are some tips to do, with that, right? So number one, we'll talk about list, right? Number one is wear things that fit you. Okay? Like, as a man, it's important to wear things that fit you. Some men like to fit. I like more of a slim fit look because it complements my shape.
And I have to add to this because I hate when guys wear baggy suits. Guys, do not wear a suit that is baggy. Wear a suit, like he said, that fits you. Don't wear your father's suit or it looks like a suit jogging suit. If that makes
Exactly.
sense.
No, and it's funny because men, like, they need to hear that, right? They need to hear it because most people that you either doing business with or you're in the presence with and you're wearing a suit, they're not going to keep it 100 with you. They're not going to tell you. I mean, you are. I mean, obviously, I say most people. You are a superwoman. Obviously, you're an exception to the rule. So it's important because most people, especially if you're trying to close a deal in a business situation, the person across the table with you, they don't know you. They're trying to listen to your pitch, but all they can see is your baggy suit. You know, and it's like, do I really want to do a business with a person that doesn't keep themselves well? How are they going to keep my business well? And it's just a reflection. There are things about style and clothing that are subconscious that speak to the lower level thought processes that people have that people don't think in the forefront of their minds that I need to dress a certain way. I live in Vegas, and you'll find that in Vegas, a lot of the small business owners, they don't like to dress up. And sometimes I'm like, you'll continue to be a small business owner because if you go into any of the major casinos, you go into any of the major entities, even though it's 100 degrees, those people still have on suits. And I'm just sorry, it's just the nature of the beast. And so I encourage, people to really pay attention and dress a certain way and have that styling aspect because style is what you wear and being appropriate where you wear it. And it doesn't necessarily mean you can't be a little bit edgy with it because I like to consider myself a conservative dresser, but I have edge. Like I'll wear a bold pocket square. I mean, my suit has purple stitching in it, but it's subtle enough you can only see it if you're up close. But if you're far away, you don't see. So it's that. I'm memorable, but I'm also keep that conservative business when I want to do business. People not like, oh my goodness, I'm about to do business with this guy. Is he a pimp or is he a? I don't. Because you got you got the pimp stereotype.
But I like what you have on though because it's dressed up. It looks very conservative, but you have on jeans with it, and it pops it. Because I know a lot of people. We're here in Detroit. I do have to give a shout out to people who are urban. They don't like to dress up all that much. But what you have on it brings it together well because it's conservative, and then you have the jean aspect, which makes it like a contemporary look.
Well, they refer to this as urban chic now.
Oh, okay.
So it's an actual thing now, and it's acceptable to wear.
It is.
It's completely acceptable.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's that blend of I don't want to be all the way dressed up,
Right.
but I don't want to be all the way casual either. You throw a jacket on that's appropriate, put on a pocket square. You don't got to wear a tie. You can just have a couple of buttons open. That's the style of my partner in Miami. He liked to wear the buttons up, open a little bit. It's the Miami thing,
Right.
Oh, okay.
And it's Florida. Let's see, it's outdoors, it's hot. He's
And that's sexy though.
that's sexy outdoors. That's
And not with the chest hair though. You gotta touch the chest hair. We don't
wax.
Okay. Cool. Because we don't want taco meat. So guys, don't get you saying, I heard it was good to button down, making sure it's cut.
That's funny. Taco meat is good.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I cut you off, so continue what you were saying.
No, I think it's. But my question to you are, and you kind of hit it a little bit about the men in baggy suits. I mean, what do you like as a woman to see a man wearing when it comes to style?
What did that mean, Angela?
Yeah, explain that.
Okay, well, for one, I agree about style being what a man wears, but he has to have a personal style. When I look at a man, I don't want to see him looking like everybody else I know.
Right.
What defines his personal style?
Exactly.
So if he's the type of gentleman, he goes and he gets his suits made, and he has a particular tailor that he works with, that's going to show a lot of his style and things like, does he get his sleeves monogrammed, or does he have a thing for cufflinks? Does he have a thing, for tie clips, or, what is his thing that identifies his personal style? And so I look for men who like to show that they have a personal style. They just didn't go and buy something because somebody told them it looked good on them. They added some of who they are to that. Whether it was, a friend of mine, he's a stylist, and he'll put piping on his jackets. It's like, who's doing that? Well, he is. So that's his personal style. And your style isn't something like you wear sunglasses at night. That's not the same thing. Okay, that's just you wear sunglasses at night.
Who wears sunglasses at night?
There are a lot of people that. Let's talk about that real quick. Let's take a sidebar on this subject.
Okay. They think it looks cool. Okay.
That's what it is. Like, sunglasses are a cool thing. Like, some people, when they wear sunglasses, it's not just because it's sunny.
Right.
It's because they go and buy a nice pair with a nice frame and the tint they want and the color, edging and things like that they want. And that's cool. Right. I appreciate that. I don't wear sunglasses myself because I love the sun. But what I do notice is the whole wearing the sunglasses inside and in dark places. That's not. I mean, it's that could be your personal style, but just an FYI, you don't need those.
And if it's an already dark room and you have on the sunglasses and you're talking to someone and you leave that room, you don't know who you just talked to because they look completely different.
And I'll tell you what I think when you wear sunglasses at night or inside. I think you're on drugs, like you're high or something. Because I'm thinking like you're either trying to cover up from red eyes or bulging eyes. You're hiding. So that's what I think.
Yeah, that's.
And from a professional standpoint, too, the other thing I don't like is, even if during the daytime, if you have your sunglasses on and you're speaking to someone, take your sunglasses off so we can see your eyes. Because you don't want people to think you're hiding or being dishonest. Yeah. And that's what that also will convey in a business setting.
Absolutely.
People say, well, why you got your sunglasses on? Who you trying to hide from? What you don't want me to know about you? I can't look you in the eye. Take them off. And it shows a level of respect that you are somebody who has integrity. You're going to tell the truth to that person sitting across from you or that you're sitting next to. So take the sunglasses off. So those are a couple of things that I look at. And shoes.
Yeah.
I'm big on shoes because I got a shoe thing for myself. And you don't have to have a lot of shoes, men, but you need to have shoes that coordinate with your different outfits. Like your one pair of shoes you have does not go for everything you wear. Whether it's your dress shoes or your gym shoes, you got to have something in the middle.
So let's kind of talk about that because I know, that was as a man, that was one of the areas that I was like, from head to foot, I was killing them. And then the shoes, I was just like, it's not a big thing. But then I started realizing, shoe game is real. It's real.
It's real
for men and women. Yes. I mean, last week, we did a photo shoot out in Caesar's Palace, and I had on some shoes that I posted on Facebook a little while ago, and everybody was stopping. Like your shoe. I mean, we going to shoot for the pocket squares. People was like, your shoes though.
Right.
But so I got into the custom shoe game, and so my shoes are now all my shoes that I wear are custom shoes. Provided by the Dapper Gentleman. Plug. And so we do custom, and really the shoe game has kind of changed things around, like elevated things to another level because women pay a lot of attention to shoes, but also always hear people say, or vice versa, that a good pair of wheels is like a good pair of shoes. Well, most men are concerned about what kind of shoes that their car is on.
Right.
You gotta be concerned on kind of shoes, and I don't have anything against the jacket look with the shirt and then the jeans and the Chuck Taylors and the J's or whatever. That's cool or whatever. But you can't always wear that.
Exactly.
So get yourself a nice couple pair of dress shoes, and when you buy the dress shoes, buy the matching belt. Right? So wear a black belt with black shoes. Right. Wear a tan belt with tan shoes. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Brown. Right. Coordinate that as well because, that's just something, the subtle details that make a difference when you're interacting with people. It makes you memorable.
And I'm looking.
You looking. And she looking.
Head to toe, I'm looking. Because the men are looking at me, so I'm looking back. I'm looking at you, looking at me, looking at you.
So the next time, brothers, that you can't get a date, look at your belt and look at your shoes. And if they don't match, that's a problem. It's probably the problem. probably a problem.
Yes. Well, in my opinion, I agree with most of what both of you guys were saying, especially Angela. I do have a foot fetish myself, so I do want to make sure that a guy that I'm dating, he's into shoes as well. Now, you can't be a diva. We're not going to go to the store and we're fighting over shoes or who pays the most money for shoes. Don't do that. But I do pay attention to guys' shoes and personal style. And like she said, personal style isn't necessarily something like, oh, I wear glasses at night, so this is my personal style. It's just something you put together that you like for a reason that was your own. Like, I love guys who have their own mind, and that comes with having your own style. Just liking something because you like it, seeing something that you like and being able to rock it and be comfortable with it. That's my main thing. I don't care what you have on as long as it's clean and you're comfortable with it, because who else can be you? Yeah, not a bag of food, not a jogging suit, literally like a jogging suit.
I want to do a little bit more touching on the shoe element, because I think one of the things for men that's important is every man should have a good shoe shining kit.
Yes.
Okay, you know, I'm being transparent here. You know what I mean? I used to struggle in the shoe area. Like I said, I was good from head to ankle. You know what I'm saying? Look at me from head to ankle, I was killing them. Them shoes, I was struggling. The shoes more expensive. You know what I mean? Guys' shoes expensive. But anyway, having a good shoe shining kit is really a key. You know what I mean? Making sure that you learn how to shine a shoe. Right. Because when your shoes shining, like I said, it's like the wheels. Like, you got some 22s. Nobody want to see no dull 22s on anything. You got Escalade. I don't want to see no. You better wash and shine those shoes on the car. Same thing with your shoes, brothers. You got your shoes. Make sure you shine them up good. Get you a nice shining cloth. You need a kit, holler at your boy. I'll figure out how to get you.
Because if you would clean your J's with a toothbrush,
right,
which require a lot of dress shoes. Right. It's the same.
Some people don't know how to do it, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I was going to say, what kind of shoe shine kit? What should they be looking for?
Yeah, you can go pretty much any store and get a little can of polish. It look like Duke. It look like remember that Duke's hair grease? Y'all remember that? Yes. That's what the cans look like. It's this thin. It's like that roundabout. And then you get your nice little application brush, and then it's a little brush that you put in there, and you shine. But you also need it's almost like a hairbrush. It's like a horse brush. The horse brush is what buffers it. Buffers it up. And then you know about that shining shoe.
I'm learning something.
And then you get a cloth, but it can't be like this. It gotta be a soft cloth. Right. Get a real soft cloth, and you put that shine on there. You got any questions? Go to anywhere that has a shoe shiner, and if you ask a shoe shiner, he'll spend 30 minutes tell you about shining shoes. He'll tell you about how he got started. You have to endure a long story. I shined Sammy Davis Jr.'s shoes right before he sang with the Rat Pack. Yes. They got stories like that. But it's entertaining. But they'll teach you how to shine a shoe. Brothers got to shine a shoe.
And that's the mark of being a gentleman too, because I know we have this mindset throughout as single people, those of us who are single, that there's no such thing as gentlemen and ladies anymore, and that's not true.
That's not true.
The mark of a gentleman, he shines his shoes, he coordinates his clothes, he looks good, he takes time to put his outfits together, he smells good, and he's not trying to impress his friends, he's trying to impress the ladies. One in particular, maybe, or several if he's single trying to find that one in particular. But that is the mark of a gentleman. I can tell the difference between a man who puts time and effort and energy into himself, and he's going to likely want to do the same thing where I am concerned. If you don't take time out for yourself and making sure you look good and feel good about yourself, you can't do nothing for me.
Yeah, no point. And I also want to touch a little bit on something you all mentioned about personal style. Yes. And I want to say that for a man, sometimes style is not something that's inherent, right? It's not something that you just have. I just happen to be in a situation where I'm a church boy, and I was raised in church, and we dressed up all the time. And as a result, my mother had a lot of input on how I dress, and she really helped me to become the fashionable guy that I am. Right. And not all men have that, so it's nothing wrong with getting a stylist. Like if you don't have your own personal style, I can recommend some it's not. There's not a problem with getting a stylist to help coach you. Yes. Right. Sometimes they'll create the whole plan for you. Right. I do that for some people. It's like, You know, they call me like, hey, I need something put together for me. So I'll do it. And then I coach them. You can see over time they start developing this eye for fashion because they've seen what you do, and then they put their own spin on it. Right. You know, it's just like with anything else in life. You have to be coached. You have to learn. You have to kind of get the foundation and the principles together. Exactly. So brothers don't feel bad reaching out. If you got to reach out to somebody and say, hey, man, I really need some help. You know, I did look at after I saw that Periscope, I did notice my suit was real big. It's time to get some new suits. Either you lost weight or you bought wrong.
One or the other.
You know, or you got hand-me-down. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You know, get your hand-me-down tailored. You know what I mean? It's find a nice tailor. Get a nice tailor. Get that good slim fit, good cut. I'm telling you, I can't tell you the number of times that this is a conversation I always have with ladies. Is, you know, I'm walking down the street and it's a couple together, and you know, I'm looking clean, and the guy's looking, you know, whatever, and the head of the woman always does this, even though she's with somebody.
Did she break her neck?
See, like, and it's not because, you know, and you know, I don't consider myself to be drop dead gorgeous, nothing, but I know that I dress.
I think a woman appreciate a well dressed.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's just that. It's just the whole.
Says you put the time.
Yeah, and it's like, okay,
into yourself.
And she looks like I have not seen that before, or I have not seen that in a long time. So brothers, you know what I mean? You married, courting. I know you. I'm not saying
breaking her neck.
I'm not
looking at Charles. Charles gonna get beat up.
Right, don't get me beat up.
Just do it with
That's
the
all I'm
side
saying.
eye.
Brothers, all I'm saying is don't get me beat up.
You guys, when you see somebody walking past, you already seen them coming. You've seen them before, so don't get yourself in trouble turning your head. Just do the side eye. You know, you don't know your head turning. You just gotta move your eyes.
I mean, this brothers, it's all on us at the end of the day. Everything rises and falls with us. So take accountability, take responsibility. Don't let your girl look at my suit. Wear your own suit. That's all I'm saying. Absolutely. That's all I'm saying.
And the stylist can really cultivate you. I thank God for my former stylist because he made me better. I may have already had a sense of style and things that I wanted to do and how I wanted to look, but he cultivated that. And then it was my responsibility to maintain it. But without his input, I'd be like, let me get this fitted in this, let me put these Nikes on and let's go. So that's how I was comfortable. Yeah. You know, I felt comfortable. I had to learn to be comfortable outside of my comfort level. And sometimes that's what the stylist has to help you do as well. Make you step out of your comfort zone so you can be your best and put your best foot forward at all times. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, just like with anything else, you need help, just ask for help. You know, there's areas in my life that I'm like, I need help. So I just ask for help because I want to be better. I want to do better.
Exactly.
You know. So let's talk about real quick. I know my time is running out for the fashion discussion, but we talked about fall fashion. So let's real quick, a couple things of must-haves for the men in the fall fashion scene. You got to get you a black blazer. If you don't have a black suit, navy suit, and a charcoal suit, you're behind, brothers. Got to get those for the fall. Got to have the dark navy, black, and the charcoal. You also probably want to do like a fall, like brownish harvest color. You know, we are in Michigan, the trees, orange and brown. Get you something with those hues in them. Really nice. Picks up really the fall flavor. Get you something. Get you some dark brown shoes with a dark brown belt and a dark black belt. And some dark. If you really want to go, get you some navy shoes. See, a lot of brothers sleeping on the navy shoes. You don't want no royal blue shoes, right? Not for the business. If you get some dark navies, they like almost black, but they got the blue. With the blue navy, you send them off. But again, we can talk about that all day because that's what I do. At the Dapper G, follow me if you want to get some tips and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so I'm going to ask. We kind of bridge into the section a little bit about what you want to see in terms of a young man who would be dateable, right? What he would like to wear. I believe that dating is for the purpose of marriage. That you date people to get to know them in order to get to a place of marriage, because that's what I ultimately believe. God, Adam, Eve, the whole story. We all know that, right? So to become one, have kids, populate the earth. All right. So serving purpose in marriage. So as a young man, who eventually wants to be in that place, as young ladies in the D. what do you look for in a young man in terms of what you want to see as a potential mate, other than looking nice?
Well, I'll start if that's okay. What I look for in a man that is very, very important to me, you have to know yourself. A lot of people out here do not know themselves. And the reason you know why is because they follow whichever way the crowd go. Whatever is hot at that time, that's the personality they pick up. That's the stuff that they're into. They don't really have a good idea of themselves. So that's for starters the first thing. You have to know yourself. And I like a man who has some goals and a deeper sense of life, meaning like how you just mentioned with the marriage. You got a lot of people who may say something like, well, we live in 2015, you know, you don't have to be married if you don't want to be married, and, you know, I just want to chill. I just want to Netflix and chill. Right.
I just want to Netflix.
So you got people that don't have any standards, they don't have any morals, so that's something that's important to me. A guy who knows himself and a guy who has goals and morals and a plan, know what he wants out of life and intends on getting it. That's it for me.
Yeah. There's so many things.
So many.
Lord, there's so many things. Okay, so, and my list is long because I did that would you marry yourself thing. I did that about a year or so ago, and I would marry myself. But all those qualities are the same qualities I look for in other people. So someone that I want to spend the rest of my life with, because I too believe dating is for the purpose of finding someone that you are going to be matched with for long-term relationships. So for me, I look for someone that's reliable, honest, trustworthy. I look for someone who's ambitious. Ambition is very attractive to me. I'm a sapiosexual. I like intelligence. So someone who's intelligent and well-groomed and tall. But I can, you know, a little flexible on the height thing.
Not too short than me. You can't come in here.
You have to be at least this tall,
yeah.
right? That's right.
Not too short. You don't have to be too tall, but not too short either.
And well, I'm 5'10", almost 5'11" in my bare feet. So I'm just attracted to taller men, period. Not to say that I don't find men that are shorter attractive, because I have not dated men that are shorter. However, at the end of the day, I know that that's something that's a personal preference. You can take it or leave it, because there's this thing that I call tall man swag. And that is when a man who does not have a lot of height has a lot of confidence. And the way he carries himself is that of a man who is taller in stature. So he may not be 6'10".
Okay.
He may be 5'10", but when he walks into the room, his presence is that of a man who's a lot taller. The way he carries himself, the way he conducts himself, his level of intelligence, and that is still attractive. It's like he's the total package, just a little bit smaller.
And it's small as I.
Just a little smaller.
Total package is a little
smaller. And that is still attractive to me. So the height thing is not a requirement. Again, it's something I'm flexible on, because if you have all the other qualities, and you got tall man swag, oh yes. Because it brings everything together. Because for me, I don't like insecure men. I need a man who's very confident in himself, because I shine. And I like a man who's okay with me shining, because he has his own shine.
He got his own shine.
So you can't come into my life and dilute me or diminish me. You have to come into my life like, okay, yeah, she's popping, but I am too. So we complement each other, not compete with each other. So that's what I like to do.
And that kind of ties in with the guy who knows himself and is comfortable with himself. Because you can have a guy who is popping, but what if you're popping more than him?
Right.
And if he's not secure, he may be competing with you or jealous.
Everybody can't be Bill Clinton. Right?
No. Somebody got to be Hillary. Somebody, you know.
I'm just saying, like, Bill is comfortable with his wife shining. You know what I mean?
And then somebody has to be Hillary, because we are all talented in whatever gifts we have. And you have to appreciate someone's gifts, not hate on them, because that's not a good relationship in the first place.
Right.
So you hating on your spouse. What that look like?
Right.
You mad because they good or something.
Yeah, that's foolish. And that speaks to a level of insecurity. I think that if you detect that early on, that's an early warning sign. I mean, people who are, when as individual anyway.
Yes.
That's got a path kind of to, inclination towards greatness.
Right.
Whatever that may be.
Right.
You already know there are certain practices that you cannot have in your life, even in a friendship. You can't have people talking negative. There's people I don't even talk to because all they want to talk about is other people.
Right.
Or it's just negativity. And so I don't have time for that. Like my mind and my goals are driving me into a different place. And I don't have time for that. So especially not in a relationship, that would be definitely not something that, as a woman, I would expect to, for her to. I got 4 sisters, so having 4 sisters, and then I got 4 nieces.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm super protective, right? So I'm like, I'm telling my nieces, like, just be careful with these losers. Don't get a loser. Don't get a guy who's just want to try to suppress you down to what he wants you to be. Right. Obviously, there's expectations on both sides.
Right.
But don't allow him to suppress you because he's insecure in who he is. That's right. You shine, you do your thing, and that's not God. if that person, that's not God. No. But let me ask this question, because the term dating itself, right? So we all have we kind of touched on what we believe dating is for. Mm-hmm. Well, tell me what dating is. What is dating, and what dating is not?
To me, dating is trying to get to know that person, because if you want to ultimately marry a person and be with them, you have to find out if you guys are compatible, and the only way you can figure that out is through dating. So dating to me is a combination of conversation, outings, and putting yourself in different positions to see how that person is. How do they handle themselves? How do they speak to other people? How do they interact? What are their family like? How do they interact with their family? And the only way you can find out those things is by being around a person. So dating is being around a person. But I'll add this. Do not call me on the first date saying, "Can I come over?" No, you cannot. We have to have a phone conversation first. So dating starts with talking on the phone, not in person, because then you might try to Netflix and chill, and we're not doing that. So what do you guys think?
For me, dating, research and development. That's what it is. It's research and
R&D.
development. R&D all day.
R&D.
And I'm big on R&D. Anybody who knows me, I research and develop everything, every part of my life. Research and development. Dating is treated the same way. Who are you? What do you do? What do you like? Who you be with? Things that make you smile. What numbers to dial? You gonna be here for a while? I need to know. I like to find out everything that I can about a person, and that takes time. I'm not expecting to do it overnight, but it does take time. But you have to give me that time so we can get to know each other. A lot of times I think people, they think that dating is just saying, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? I want to see you. Let's go out for a drink or a movie or whatever." But there's no conversation, there's no interaction, there's no engagement, none of that. Right. We're just spending time together, but it's not quality time. Dating has to include the quality time to get to know a person. Find out what their interests are, who they be with. Because you need to know those things going forward, because they will shape your relationship. You don't want to find out down the line that a person you've been spending your time with is somebody that you didn't know anything about, because you were just giving time and not quality time. And Netflix and chill. That ain't quality time.
Because you don't want to watch Netflix. No. You want to chill.
And you don't have to look at dating as something that is costly. I think a big thing now is that dating, oh my God, it's going on a date, it's going to cost me $10,000. No. Dating can be creative, because I'll tell you this, if you can't date someone for a period of time and find different things that you guys can do to spend time together and have fun and interact with each other, you can't be in a relationship either. It's not going to happen. Because a relationship does not mean you go home and you stay in the house all the time. That's not everybody's life. People want to continue to have some type of life in a couple. So you have to have, if you're sociable and outgoing, that's going to be to your benefit if you're dating, but you have to date someone who likes the same things you do, is as sociable and outgoing as you are. So make sure that you have those things, that you're compatible with each other. You do that by spending time together. Ask questions. I hate when I go on a date with a guy and he doesn't ask me anything about myself. You're not trying to get to know me. You can tell me I'm beautiful and sexy and all that. That's all nice and cool. However, you should ask me something other than my age and how many kids I have. you should want to know what are my goals. If I'm asking you what your goals are, you should ask me what my goals are. But if it's a one-sided conversation, I'm asking you, so what are your goals? So what is your 10-year plan? So what do you want to do when you grow up? But you're not asking me anything in return. That says to me, you don't really have an interest in getting to know me. So therefore, I'm done with you. That's the last time you're going to see me. I'm going to stop calling. You won't get a text return to you. I might unfriend you on Facebook. It all depends. It all depends. I go hard in the paint. R&D, baby. It's all about the R&D. So I don't waste my time. If I feel like this is not something that is, you're not interested in me as much as I'm interested in you, I'm out. That's my R&D. I concluded my research and development. And dating is also not sex.
Preach.
I've been celibate for a minute, and I take spurts of celibacy. And I've been doing this for like years now. Any man who gets frustrated because he's not going to get none, done with you. You won't see me again. I won't return your text. I might unfriend you on Facebook. It's real serious out here because I need to know that you value me beyond what you think you can get from me on a sexual level. Because at the end of the day, I'm only going to be attracted to someone who's attracted to me beyond sexually. If you are only attracted to me sexually, I get bored. I'm done. Okay, research and development is over.
I was going to say that, like, after the sex, it almost seems like if you rush into that, it's like, what's next? And it kind of doesn't even give you an incentive to want to move further, to get to know this person or to talk to them.
And even if the sex is good, guess what? Now it's all about the sex. And I'm still not going to call you. I'm still not going to return your text. I still might unfriend you on Facebook. You going to talk about some hotline bling in a minute like, you used to call me on my cell phone. That's the extent of our friendship at that point. Hey, what you doing? I'm real bored tonight. Can I see you? And you don't want to be that guy. Just like we as women, we don't want to be that girl. We don't want you calling us only for sex if we know that we are worthy of more than that. And men, y'all shouldn't want that either.
Yeah, I think that's real key that you hit that because, again, being a church boy, I'm taught that, like, sex is for marriage, right? So that's what I believe. And so it's, that whole dynamic is really interesting in the age that we live in, right? Because, as kids, we're introduced to a sex culture. It's on TV. Right. It's like, some of our parents, I was born out of wedlock, you know what I mean? So it was like, my parents weren't married when they had me. Right. And so it's like, you live in that culture where it seems okay, but sex before marriage ruins so many things. And also, like you mentioned, like if that's what your relationship is built on, it's probably not going to last. And I read a statistic, I was doing some R&D, not on a person, but just researching, statistics. And what's very interesting is that there's a statistic that reports that 90% of all divorces happen in a situation where the people weren't celibate beforehand, right? And it's because most of the time it's because in their mind, and this is their R&D, this is not me. They were saying that because people have this comparison thing, where even though they can have a very healthy relationship with a person, that whole subconscious play of, okay, this person is better in this area than the other sexual area, right? They're better. Then they ruin an entirely good relationship with a person that they could build a life in the future with because Tyrone down the street, handled business, but he wasn't a good. This was part of research, So it was like, that was really disturbing to me because it really realized some of the things that we don't think about or we don't even talk about, right? So those are things that don't even come up because we're such a sexually motivated culture that abstinence and celibacy are words that you don't really hear, and then you don't really hear the fact that when people do that, the positive impacts that it makes, because all the songs that we hear is about sex and love, and but at the end of the day, love is more than, to your point, you have to build a life with this person, and a life.
I need to see your bank account balance, bro.
The credit score.
You got a 401k.
Speaking of money and accounts, because me and my friends, we always had this discussion. Like, are you considered a gold digger if you are concerned about a man's finances?
I am a gold
bank account, his credit. Like, are you a gold digger?
I am a gold digger. GOAL digger.
I just bought a shirt today that says for my sister.
Yes, I am a gold
Moneyball. Moneyball sportswear plug for my boy Daz. Moneyball.
Because at the end of the day, if you can't take care of yourself, you can't do anything for or with me. Okay? I have done for myself for over 22 years. I can handle this alone if I had to, but why would I get married and still have to handle it alone? What's the point? What's the point? I might as well stay single. What the hell? I gotta pay all the bills still? Really? What you here for? We can't go anywhere, we can't do anything, but I was going places and doing things before I met you. We have to balance each other out in a way that makes sense. That's part of the compatibility to me. Like, can we, even if we have a little slight struggle individually, financially, if we come together, do we make each other better?
That's a good point, because I was just thinking, you know, my point of reference is typically come from movies. So, like, think like a man. Remember when my man Michael Ealy, you know, he was kind of struggling. He was getting his hustle on, but he wasn't where Taraji was, you know. But he had ethics. He had a drive and determination to get something done. Yeah. So what's that fine line between, you know, not having a lot to contribute up front to, you know, having drive that may eventually get to that point? Like, what does that balance look like?
Well, I'll say this. I have a saying, and because I meet a lot of people with really amazing potential. A lot of people. I scout talent, and I have independent artists that come to me and they ask me for my feedback and such. So I'm good at recognizing potential.
Sure.
However, the way my bank account is set I cannot accept potential as payment. Therefore, your walk has to be greater than your talk. So you can sit back and you can talk about all the things that you want to do. I need to see that you have a plan and that you're working your plan. And that's pretty simple to decipher from a person.
Right.
A person sitting at home talking about all the things they want to do but never do is never going to do. A person who's really ambitious and has the potential and they know it within themselves, but they want to put the work in, that person is somebody that I can give some time and attention to help them as well. But I have to see that, because I can't do more for you than what you do for yourself. That's not going to work.
That's good.
You have to you have to show me that you're doing for yourself. So, like Michael Ealy's character, okay, you're going to go, become a chef. Yeah. So you're going to go to school. You're going to do that. You're going to get up every day. You're going to go to your classes. I'm not going to have to say to you, did you go to class today? You're going to do that because I'm not mama. You know? And it's like, and you're going to come home and you're going to cook for me, because you want me to taste what you learned how to cook today. And you want feedback. And you know I like food.
You want feedback. You want foodie.
Okay? And you know I'm going to give it to you honestly. And then you're going to perfect on that meal. And then you're going to go and you're going to do the necessary things. Whatever testing you have to take, whatever licensing you have to get, whatever you have to do, you are going to do it without me having to tell you. All I have to do is support you and encourage you. That's the type of man that I can invest in. But if you just like, yeah, one day when I grow up, I'm going to be a chef,
and
but you're not going to class. You already grown, you're not going to class, you're not trying to even get a job at a restaurant, nothing. Cut you off.
So, now there are situations where a person can fall off, of course, because we do live in a volatile economy, and you sometimes can't depend on everything. So in that situation, and this is a tip for ladies and men, because you want to be sure that you have a woman that's just not a talker either.
Exactly.
Look at their track record, the type of people they're around, the kind of things that they've done in the past. Because just because a person may be at a downtime, that doesn't speak to who they are as a whole. So I think that's a good thing to point out, and be sure that you know that this person is capable and has been capable because they've done it before, but maybe things aren't the way that it used to be. So you do want to keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
So one thing I do want to hit on from a male's perspective about the gold digger thing, because you know we that's what we're kind of talking about, but I want to bring the term back to the table, because a lot of men get pent up about it, you know, whatever. It's like, you a gold digger. So I'm gonna tell you, as a man, as a brother of 4 sisters, as a uncle of 4 nieces, it's really important as a man for me to see my sisters and my nieces marry somebody that can take care of them. I do believe both people should bring things to the table, but I'm old school. I believe the man is supposed to be the breadwinner. Hate me, love me for it, or whatever. But as a man, you have to understand that other men are raising their children like that. They're raising their daughters like that. They're raising and you may run into some ladies that don't care, and may be because either they didn't have a father or mother that taught them that, or they just don't really care. You know, and that's up to them. That's their own personal thing. But as a man, if you really want a woman like these ladies that's on the grind, moving up, you know what I'm saying? They doing their thing. You want a woman that's going to contribute to your life and be successful. You want to make sure you have the mentality that you are bringing some things to the table, because ultimately at the end of the day, you're the priest of the home, you're the man of the home, everything falls on you. And you have to go hard, like David Dash said, for your last name. Right. You got to go hard for your last name. I'm not doing this for Whitby. I'm not doing this for Charles. I'm doing this for Whitby. Right. You know what I mean? It's all about the last name, the legacy. Right. And so when you understand that, I don't think that's I absolutely feel like that's something that every woman should require, that a man has some type of financial streams of income that provide a level of stability or security. Right. Like you said, there might be some ups and downs, you know, depending on what type of work he does. He's like 100% commission type of work. I mean, he's doing it. He out here and he knows he's got a family. If he's doing it, he's doing it. And it may not be like, you know, $1,000 every 3 days or whatever. Like, it might be $1,000 today and $400 the next day, whatever. Right. Whatever it is, as long as you're on your hustle and you're about your family. Man, don't start this whole she a gold digger thing unless all she doing is asking for money. Now there are some things you need to pay attention to. All she want to do is talk about money. All she want to do is ask for money.
That's a gold.
That's a gold digger. But a woman who requires a man to have a financial situation that's stable or, you know, have some income, that's not a gold digger at all. That's a woman with her right mind. You know. So love me or hate me for it.
I agree with you. I mean, because as a man, I think women have a certain level of respect for you if you are being the provider. But it's almost like if you have to take on that role, it kind of switches the masculinity from that man to you. So now you don't even take that guy serious, that man serious, if he can't provide for you more than you can yourself.
If you ask me for gas money, it's a wrap. Because how was you getting gas money before you met me? Right. Like, really? Right. It's like, because I'm going to literally look at you like, oh yeah? How'd you get to where you needed to go before you met me? It's different if it's a situation where, you know what, I messed up on my bills this month, and you don't ever do that. Or you had an emergency, because emergencies come up and they can take a person down real fast. I can understand that type of situation. But if every time I talk to you, every time I see you, every time we going out, you looking at me for gas money? We're not dating. R&D is over.
And I think another thing to think about as a man is, you know, just the reality of it is that there's always going to be somebody that's interested in who you're interested in. Right. And if you're not putting in work, somebody else is going to put in work.
Somebody going to get your girl.
Somebody, your girl is going to do this when he walks down the street. She's going to see the man
break her neck
in the suit. Or, figuratively speaking.
She's not how to help me look like.
She's like, he probably could. He probably could have drove me here as opposed to me driving this guy that's on my arm. You know, and it's just a reality. And as a man, you got to understand, like, man, we're about competition. We're competitive. That's why sports is so big. Right. That's why, you know, Michigan game was like off the chain and everybody talking about it. Right. Because competition is all who won't have a big brother. Right. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, a man has pride. And the man's going to be like, you know, if you ain't gonna take care of her, I'm gonna come in and step in and take care of her, right? And men do that. I ain't saying I do that, but men do that, right? So it's just a matter of what's important.
And you're gonna lose that girl. That's real bossy. If you a man and you coming into somebody else's relationship like I'm gonna do what he don't do, you gonna lose that girl because that's bossy.
That's a boss.
I'm packing that. You say what now? All the things he don't know. Oh, yeah.
See, brothers, that's what I'm saying. You heard it from the ladies.
Just saying, just being honest. Because at the end of the day, it's important. It is. And again, it goes back to the compatibility. Do we make each other better? Yeah. Or am I drowning because I'm trying to hold on to you? Yeah. You know, and as women, we have to be willing to let go sometimes. Because I have honestly discovered, and if any of my exes would ever decide that they really want to be honest, me walking away from you was probably the best thing that ever happened to you because it made you man up. Whether you ended up with another woman after me or not, it made you man up. Whatever the reason was that we are no longer together is 9 times out of 10 very valid. But it made you man up, because if you do not learn at some point that what you are accustomed to giving is not going to always be accepted, you're going to keep giving the same crap over and over again, and it doesn't make you a better person. If I see it, 9 times out of 10, if you learned your lesson, you are now a better person.
Yeah.
Whatever your problem was, whatever issue you needed to resolve, whether it was financial, emotional, mental, you got your life.
That's an awesome point to bring up, though, because I think a lot of men are developed based off what other women put up with.
Absolutely.
So women out there, you're building a man that can either be a woman's nightmare or a woman's blessing.
Absolutely.
So what you put up with, you remember that you are molding that man to be who he is. So if he's doing something that is not,
afraid to let him go.
yeah, like you said, it causes the man
Preacher
up.
about to come out right now.
Get your life
You
in
done
order.
stirred it up. Ladies.
That's right.
That's it.
Get your life in order.
No, but seriously, that's an excellent point. And because the fact of the matter is, male and female, people only do what you tolerate them to do.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I've always told like ladies, I'm like, listen, if you're worried about a man like
Leaving you for another woman.
right, like but no, I'm just saying from that perspective, if you have to lower who you are for him to go somewhere else, then that means that somebody else has to lower who they are.
Right.
So it's like all these women just lowering their standards and what they want and what they desire out of a man because they're trying to keep a man that can't be kept.
Right.
Or don't want to be kept.
Because, but if you, like, for example, when I was growing up, I played basketball, right? So I love hoops. Hoops is my thing. When I had an 8-foot rim, I shot on the 8-foot rim, I dunked on the 8-foot rim, right? Like, that's in the yard. But when they raised it to 10 foot, I adjusted my game to the regulation standard. Because if I wanted to play high school ball, if I want to think about playing college ball, I have to play what is the regulated standard, right? And if the woman's responsibility is to make that regulated standard, and if a man want to play the game, he gonna play according to the rules of the regulated standard.
That's right. And if he doesn't,
then you don't want him on the team.
He's never gonna.
You don't want him on the team.
Exactly. And I have actually had men tell me that my high standards are the reason that I'm single. And I've had men tell me, but keep those standards high.
Me too. Yeah.
And it's that catch-22. Like, I know this is why I'm single, because there's only so much I'm going to tolerate, and there's a lot of things that I'm not going to tolerate. Because just because you did it to the woman before me doesn't mean you can do it to me.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, when the man that comes along and he says, oh, everything you asking for is within reason, that's the keeper.
Yeah.
That's the keeper right there. I'm just waiting on that man to tell me that. Don't tell me I'm crazy because I got high standards. Find out if you can meet those standards or exceed them. If you can't, feel free to go bye-bye. Thank you very much in advance. Save me some time in R&D. But if you know that the standards are the same standards that you would have, and that's what goes back to, like, when I said I did the would you marry yourself. Men need to do that too. Are your standards at a level where if you were a woman, would you marry you? And vice versa. We as women, we have to do the same calculation. If I was a man, would I marry myself? And then you can also do that to determine things that you need to fix about yourself. Because the outside world isn't always going to be honest with you about your flaws. They might be on a superficial level, but that's nothing. At the end of the day, who you are inside as a person really does matter. And a lot of times who you are as a person impacts your relationships either positively or negatively. But you gotta be willing. You gotta be willing to look within yourself, fix whatever's going on with you. But at the same time, be willing to walk away from situations that aren't good for you. Because that makes you bitter, you know?
Yeah.
It makes you bitter. And there's many failed relationships that I have had, and y'all can read all about them. I'm very transparent. If you don't know by now, you're gonna learn today.
You're gonna learn today.
At the end of the day, I'm thankful for those failed relationships because they taught me what I don't want. They made me stronger. And at the end of the day, I still love men. I'm not mad at men. I still love men. I still champion for men. If a man is being done wrong, I'm still speaking up for that man. because I still love men. It has nothing to do with the fact that these relationships didn't work out because they weren't supposed to.
Right.
It's like that's that blessing in disguise. Sometimes rejection is a blessing. Yes.
And that's a good point, because I do have to bring that up, because you do have a lot of women out there that say, man, you know the rest. And I think that you made a great point. Don't always try to say every guy is not nothing because of the guy you were dating didn't work out, because it might have just simply not was meant to be.
And those women need to step their game up too.
I was just gonna say that. Because you are what you attract.
Absolutely.
And if you're attracting trash, you probably
It's trash day.
it's time to take out the trash in your own life. And I think we have to come to ourselves and say that too many of us like to push blame and say it's this person's fault, that person did me wrong.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we let people do us wrong. Sometimes we ask them to, without asking verbally, we ask them to do us wrong because we lowered our standards.
Yes.
Or we took things on that we knew that we didn't really want.
Exactly.
You can't be so desperate. Like you got to be, like you said, you got to be good with yourself. You got to love yourself enough to know that I got standards, and if there's somebody out there that's gonna want to get down. Yeah.
And that kind of goes back to what I was saying when you asked earlier, what are some of the things you like in a man? And I brought up knowing yourself, because if you know yourself and you're comfortable with yourself and you're comfortable in your own skin, you're not going to become insecure to start thinking something's wrong with you. If you can't attract what you're looking for, you're going to realize something is wrong with that person, because I know who I am and I know who I want.
Right. And then at the same time, I had a real come to Jesus moment in therapy. Yes, I went to therapy. I went to relationship therapy as a single woman a few years ago, okay? Because I wanted to make sure that I was good with me. The only way I could do that is by sitting with someone who was completely impartial, who would be honest with me, and get all of the things that I felt and dreamed and wanted, get it all out, talk it out, work it out. It was like, had an Ilyana come fix my life. So, in that process, though, I came to a very, very serious realization. Some of us ain't meant to be with other people. And that's not to say that there isn't somebody for you, but at the end of the day, some of us, our purpose is a lot higher than just being in a relationship with another person. Sometimes those relationships are only meant to teach you something, build you up, or prepare you for something else. Sometimes the relationships that we think we really want to have so bad are not part of God's plan for our lives. And we have to kind of get comfortable with the fact that we're not going to be like everybody else. Everybody's not going to necessarily get married. Everybody's not necessarily going to have somebody they're going to spend 30, 40, 50 years with. And as human beings, we have this innate desire, and we're supposed to want companionship. But as an individual, you have to be able to live without somebody else.
So let me jump on that real quick. That's a very deep. It is, because I just had a conversation with a young lady about that probably about a little over a month ago, and there is the innate portion, but it's also the social pressure portion as well. People like, because I'm 35, right? I'm 35. You know, I just went to a wedding of one of my best friends, like my sister, and you know, she's 35, and so when you start getting up in age, people start asking you questions like, "Why are you single? You're successful and you're handsome and you're blah blah blah. What's wrong with you?" It's like, no. Maybe it's something right with me. Maybe it's because I'm on a path that I'm so focused, I'm so purpose-oriented, I'm so purpose-driven that it hasn't been time for that yet. Or maybe, to your point, everybody's not called to that because they have to because some purposes are so strong that they would deter a relationship. Like another person in that person's life would make that person bitter with the purpose that's on their life.
Absolutely.
I heard a pastor say he preached himself out of a wife. He said, I was like, wow. When he was like, because he's so committed and so devoted to the course of ministry that his wife wasn't able to understand that, and she left him. Like, he didn't leave her. He never remarried. It was just like, but he said because he was so committed to his purpose, and she was not able to handle that, right? So that may be the case for some people. What happens is people fall so drunk into the relationship thing that they'll give up their purpose for a relationship.
Exactly.
And that's a good point that you made, that some people, the social pressure, because I do think people have that, because I don't have any children myself, and a lot of people around me were having children and getting married, and at some point I thought, wow, when is going to be my turn? Like, there's something wrong with me, and I was looking for that, like looking for a relationship, and it does deter you from your dreams and aspirations, because you're focusing on something you don't have as much time and drive to put into making your dreams a reality. So that's absolutely true.
Yeah. So I think we've exhausted that portion of the game. I want to bridge. I know this is good stuff. I like, see, we think alike, and then that's the other thing. You got to get around people that think like you. When you start hearing this kind of stuff, you try to tell your friends about it, and they're like, "Girl, what you talking about? Dude, get out of here. You need to change your friends, change your circle.
Tell them go that way,
right to the left." Go do some R&D. But so as a man, you know, one of the things that's kind of cliche about men and women is, you know, men have this thing about women with nice feet. Okay. Everybody saw Boomerang. Eddie Murphy woke up like, oh, the feet. Well, he couldn't be with Leela Rashawn because her feet was just bad.
Pretty woman.
And she was gorgeous. Leela Rashawn is a gorgeous woman. Hallelujah. But her feet, you know, in the movie, I don't know if her feet are really like that. So Leela, if you watch it, you know, I love it. Her feet is fantastic. But he was just like, I can't get with her, I can't dig her because her feet is bad. So, I mean, as a woman, I mean, what is the solution to bad feet? I mean, because I know some people, it's just feet they just ugly. They just bad. But you can, even if they, you know, this is like with an ugly man. Put him in a nice suit, he look better. He might not, you know.
He's still ugly.
Yeah, he's still ugly, but it's a look. Tell me what you can do for ugly feet. Like, what's the remedy?
I guess this is time for my plug. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about Cashmere Feet. We are an online luxury foot care boutique, and we are on a mission to get you, yes, you watching this, and all of you guys to love your feet. So some of my tips with feet, I think that, well, first off, make sure you visit us November the 7th. We're going to be relaunching our website November the 7th at www.cashmerefeet.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But to your question, Charles, I think with feet, they are one of the forgotten body parts. A lot of people don't groom their feet as much as they would their other parts of their body, like their hair and their nails. So one of the biggest things that is the most simplest, wash your feet. Wash your feet.
Doesn't mean standing in the shower.
Right. Soak your feet and wash them. This is actually a test where you can tell that you don't wash your feet enough. If you take a bath, make sure it's warm enough, soak a little bit, take your fingernail and scratch the bottom of your foot.
Okay.
The heel part, the toe, even the middle. If you have some skin in your fingernail, you have a lot of dead skin and a lot of
bacteria. And
you got a lot of stuff on the bottom of your feet. You one of those people that was just standing in the shower
and not actually washing their feet.
So for starters, that's what you could do without spending any money. Just simply wash your feet. Take a bath once a week. I know a lot of guys are big on showers, and women as well, but in all actuality, take a bath at least once a week. And I'm not saying that to be mean or anything, but being in the tub, it allows you to scrub and get all of that dead skin off of your feet. And once you do that, you'll have a clear skin, something to work with. Make sure you moisturize your feet. I know a lot of us, especially women, we get out the shower, we spray our mist down, we lotion down. We might get the top of our feet, but how many people don't lotion the bottom of their feet?
I'm washing my whole feet.
Okay, my girl.
I
admit though, I was ashy a little girl.
You was ashy, yeah.
Because I took the shower this morning, and then this is how I got ashy. I put my shoes on. And I said, well, I'm going to change shoes anyway. So what I did is I brought my shea butter with me. So when I take those shoes off and put my other shoes on. But I did have to be reminded, ooh, girl, your feet are ashy. You better get some lotion. Yes, that's why I'm my friend. What?
Okay.
My friends is real with me. I know ashy feet around here.
Perfect. So lotion your feet. I mean, like these guys, they lotion their feet, but you got the dapper gentleman, you got Superwoman, so of course they're going to do that. But most people do not. They might lotion the top, and might even get the bottom, but you gotta do a heavy moisturizer, rub it in like you're giving. Yeah, give yourself a foot massage.
Rub your own feet, they yours.
Absolutely. And all you have to do is do that. Wash your feet, moisturize them, and you are on a road to better feet, pretty feet, and trim them. You know, you don't have to get a pedicure. You don't have to get your toes done. Just cut your nails down yourself. File them down yourself and keep a pretty color on them. If you want to get your toes done, that's awesome too. But without spending a lot of money, wash your feet, moisturize them every day, and that's
so. Let me ask this question because, you know, I'm a shoe guy too. Like I notice women's shoes. Obviously, I notice my shoe. My shoe game has come up as I mentioned before. So my whole foot game, I'm paying more attention. So I'm out at a networking event. You know, ladies got the nice sling back shoes on. Then you notice that crust like on the back part of the foot. Okay, so if the crust is at the back part of the foot, they got really nice shoes. Their toes is done. Like the front look good. Like the front nice and polished, but the back is like the heel is crusty. I mean, how do they fix that? Like, how does
get a new person to do your pedicure? Because how you got your toes done and your heels are crusty? Where they do that at?
Or you probably never even got pedicure to begin with. So
yeah, it wasn't a good pedicure.
Yeah, or you never got one to begin with.
So they just got their toes done.
They just got because
you don't wash your feet. That's an example of a person who doesn't wash their feet. Because us women, people, period, when you wear shoes, friction is what caused that buildup of skin on your foot.
Right.
You get it off by either getting a pedicure and getting it scrubbed off, or you wash your feet. So if you have that much crust on your heel, you don't wash the bottom of your feet.
I mean, like, how long would it take to get that out of here?
First, get it out of here. Get it out of here. You gotta. Man, I actually, a lot of people will go get a pedicure, but I actually have a product that will work wonders for you. Absolutely. It's called Baby Foot. It's like a plastic booty. It has 17 foot acids at the bottom of it. You wear it for 1 hour, and throughout the course of a week, it peels 18 layers of dead skin off your feet.
Wow.
Yeah, so no more going to the nail shop and having Sinead pull out the chainsaw and trying to get with them feet. You can just put on the booty, do something for an hour, take it off.
Can you wear the booty in your shoe? Yeah, so you go outside, like you wear it for a couple hours.
If you want to, it's not necessary. And actually, I always say you don't want to walk around because it do have a slipperiness. Yeah, so it could become a hazard. Yeah. You could. Now, the first time I used it, I was running errands and I had on my gym shoes, but I didn't notice like
you were kind of sliding on them. Okay. Yeah. So very careful.
Get one. Matter of fact, man, woman, I'm getting one. Just get one because you know feet are important.
I don't even have crusty feet, and I'm getting one. I'm just gonna let you know.
I don't have crusty feet either.
No.
I take care of mine.
Yes.
I don't get pedicures yet though, but I still like lotion. You know, I take care of my feet. But the next step for me, like I'm a man's man, so like the whole pedicure thing has always been kind of like, that's for the ladies. But I'm gonna see that, yeah.
Men who get pedicures are sexy.
See,
you wanna increase your sexy quotient by even a smidge? Go get a professional pedicure and post a video on social media.
She trying to get you talked about.
I'm not trying to be sexy. I'm just trying to take care of my feet.
But I do. A man that goes get a pedicure, that does say something about it is sexy because it's like you really take care of yourself. Yeah,
absolutely. And I have to add to that. What I don't like is men who have a foot fetish.
And then they be it's a hypocrisy.
Wait a minute.
It's hypocrisy.
And I'm not a foot person. I respect feet, however, because the feet are where our nerve endings are. They are important. They hold us up all day. That's where we put our weight. They have to be taken care of. But please don't talk about you going to suck my toes and I can't even rub yours.
Without touching myself, I'm getting paper cuts.
You got to wear socks to bed.
You got to wear socks to bed. Or if you get in the bed and your feet is rubbing against the sheet and it's making that noise.
Or if your feet is snagging the threads out the sheets. That's when you know you need to go holler at Cashmere Feet. Because
And you need to buy me some new sheets.
Yes, because I wish cashmere feet existed years ago. Because I got a horror story for you about some toes.
Really? Do we have signs?
I got cut up
oh my God.
by some toenails.
Oh.
While I
In the
was
bed?
sleeping.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had a problem with that. We broke up.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like the keys to a lasting relationship.
Not at all. Because why am I bleeding when I wake up? And I'm sorry, but I got nice skin, I got nice legs, I get compliments. I don't need scars all up and down my body because you don't want to take care of your feet.
Wow.
And then you want to clone me.
That's interesting.
Y'all broke
I mean,
up.
but that's like the practicality of it all. I mean, because at the end of the day, you know, I get married and I lay down with my wife. I don't want her to wake up mad at me because I scratched her up, and I don't want to wake up mad at her because she scratched me up. So I feel you. I think this is just stuff people don't like think about.
And one relationship I had was a very good relationship. And we both had nice feet. And one of the things we did was when we would come home from work, we would sit down and decompress. We'd talk to each other about each other's day. And we would do that sitting across from each other on a couch while we're on each other's feet. You know, and it's soothing, it's therapeutic. You getting to talk to your mate about what's going on in your life and keeping them up to date. You're letting go of stress. For some people, if you like feet, that could be some foreplay. It depends. All on you. All on you. But we both took care of our feet. And it's like, and somebody's like, you rub his feet. He got nice feet. He take care of his feet. He don't just stand in the shower and let the water run down. He actually washes
He washes his feet.
I had a friend who she was dating this guy, and his feet was just pink.
Oh.
She actually used to always tell me about it, and she made it like she was having a romantic night, and she rubbed his feet, like soaked his feet and rubbed it, because she was like, maybe if I'm soaking, she was helping him, so she rubbed his feet.
Did
like
she wear a
the
mask?
lady rubbed Jesus' feet. I don't know. She should have.
So the movie War Room, I don't know if y'all seen that. The movie War Room, the theme of the lady in the movie is her feet stuff, and I'm like, I was thinking to myself, there's no way that I can be in a marriage with a woman whose feet just smell bad. Like, we got to fix this, like, right away. This isn't something that...
They make stuff for that.
Like, you know, me, man. I can't...
Well, people don't know this, but the bottom of your feet actually holds the most sweat glands in your entire body. So it's absolutely natural for your feet to sweat. So don't think that you're weird or something is wrong with you. But a remedy for that is to soak your feet in vinegar. Mm-hmm. And the more you do it, the more it closes the sweat glands on the bottom of your feet. So that's a tip. But if your feet are stinking, that means you wear the same shoes all the time. Yeah, so just wear
you gotta
different
come holler at me for some new custom shoes.
You get some insoles.
Custom shoes.
Some insoles.
Some insoles.
Yeah.
If brothers, man, like, okay, another thing is, if you go in a hoop, you ain't in gym shoes, put some baby powder in. Put some baby powder in the bottom of your shoes.
Some gold bottoms.
Yeah, gold bottoms.
I had a guy who feet stink.
Really?
Yeah, so
I did.
shout out to you guys. I
had
never
good
met
guys.
a guy with feet.
It was an R&D. R&D was your feet saying it's over. This project is done. I will not invest in this.
No, I just couldn't. Really? Because see, here's my thing. If you don't take care of yours, when I go say I'm going to go get a pedicure, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy.
Right.
That's going to be a problem in a relationship. You got to spend all that money going to get your feet done.
Yeah.
Because you don't do that, so you don't understand.
don't
I need
get
somebody who understands.
Understand.
Well, speaking of projects, I know this is really fun. I enjoyed talking with you guys.
Absolutely.
Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you have some questions and check us out. But what do you guys have going on? Tell us a little bit about. We'll start with Angela. I just love Angela. She's so sassy. Oh, thank you. So what do you have going on? What are some of the things people can look forward to checking out?
Absolutely. Well, make sure you check out the blog post on 6 Brown Chicks. I just had a new one published, and it's about celibacy. Ooh. Great sex will make you stupid. So make sure you check out the blogs on 6 Brown Chicks and check out all the correspondent bloggers. That is from Zandra Hughes. She is the CEO of 6 Brown Chicks. Make sure you check out my website, superwomanproductions.com. I blog on there as well, but you can check out some of the events that I'm speaking at, some of the parties that I throw, some of the events that I throw annually there, as well as some of the content that I write, content for Detroit CEO Magazine as well. We're working on the sports issue right now, which will be out in November.
Spartans, you're gonna have some stuff on Michigan State in there.
Of course. Also, on November 6th, 7th, and 8th, I'll be co-hosting the Great Lakes Canna Expo with Foolish from 107.5 here in Detroit. That's going to be lots of funners. I'm looking forward to that. I've got some speaking engagements upcoming as well. Then on December 19th is my big birthday bash here in Metro Detroit.
Turn up.
That is going to be hotness, okay? It's at a secret location. Tickets are on sale right now. You will be deeply disappointed. It's like a huge ladies' night out. And it's going to be funners. You don't want to miss it. Again, all of the information about me is on superwomanproductions.com. And I've got some other stuff coming up. We've got some more projects taking place. And as they become available, I'll post it on my website and on my social media. So make sure you follow me on Twitter and Periscope at Best Superwoman. On Instagram, I'm Official Superwoman. And you can just Google me and it kind of just comes up.
Cool.
What about you, Charles?
I mean, I can't compare to all that. I just got so what's going on with me? November 14th, I was blessed to be honored by the Urban Chamber for a nomination for Distinguished Entrepreneurial Spirit.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'll be in the souvenir book and being, whatever. If I win, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited about that coming up on November 14th. And then November 19th, I'll be in Naples, Florida, doing a trunk show for Sebastian Cruz Couture down there and my business partners. As part of the Dapper Gentlemen, obviously, I'm responsible for West Coast distribution of that. And then let's see what else. The Gentlemen's Club. Make sure you go to my website, find out about the Gentlemen's Club, give me exclusive offers. Also, the Society with one of my partners, Andre Philippe, all these are membership clubs that get you access to beautiful products, services, concierge type situations. Be looking out for that. Follow me at The Dapper G on all social media. At The Dapper G. Thank you.
And me, as I mentioned earlier, I have the relaunch of my website, CashmereFeet.com, November the 7th, where yours truly will be turning 30.
It's our birthday.
So to celebrate, I am going to be gifting you, where you can purchase all of our products in sample sizes. So we're going to have lotion, soaps, and scrubs that you can customize the scent and the color. We'll have baby foot, which I talked about, cashmere slippers, edible massage oil for the toe suckers. And
Don't inbox me. Don't.
And a few other things, but they are all foot related. So check us out. And you can also follow us on Twitter, and we have a fan page on Facebook at Cashmere Feet, Instagram and Twitter, Cashmere Feet, and the website again is www.cashmerefeet.com, November the 7th. But check us out on Facebook. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. Follow us, share this broadcast, and check us out. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.